A lot of you have noticed that I am branching out into other ships. Now don't get me wrong, I still love my CVs, but occasionally I feel like getting froggy in something else. The recent French missions require torpedo hits. What better ship to do that in than the Tier 5 Premium Kamikaze R? Now the Kamikaze R was a special version of the Kamikaze that was available to be earned during the Military Month campaign that they ran, I think almost 2 years ago. The Kamikaze R and the Kamikaze are pretty much the exact same thing. However, the Kamikaze R does have the special camo that comes with it. What makes this ship really fun to play is its concealment is about 5.4 kilometers, but its torpedo range is about 6. So you can pretty much go the whole game undetected while just throwing torpedoes at people. The other thing is the torpedo reload is only about 40 seconds. Needless to say, you can get a lot of torpedoes off. So we start this game on fault line. As you can see, I've managed to get into this little nook on the side of A. The best part is I have not been detected, so the enemy doesn't actually know I'm here. I will admit, the first part of this game is pretty boring, as I'm pretty much just sitting here, kind of hanging out, throwing torpedoes, waiting for something to happen. I'm abusing the fact that they don't know that I'm here to just kind of hang out and deny the cap. That is until I see this geyser now on my left-hand side. I see the potential, and this is why I hang out here and I just wait to see what he does. In this moment, as you can see, I have my torpedoes up, I have them targeted against him, just trying to track his movement, whether he's moving forward, whether he's moving backwards, how fast he's moving, to kind of plan my attack. Once I've kind of worked out that he is moving forward and those two cruisers are coming up behind me through A, I decide it's time to get into a better position and get my torps ready to put on this ship. I'm still yet to be detected. This is why I decided to pop the smoke here. I have a rough idea of when he's going to be moving around this corner, and I throw my torpedoes at him. As you can see, I only chucked 2 squads. Although the Kamikaze does have a very quick reload, I was cautious of the fact he might predict me being there with my smoke, and he may stop right on that island. I wanted that third set just in case that was the case, so that I could throw it at him as a last-ditch effort before I go down. But as we can see, he didn't. He did eat the first 2 torpedoes, so I threw that third set at him and started to move out of the way because I figured, you know, that's a German ship. German ships typically have hydro. We don't want to be here with all his guns straight in our face. So he did actually manage to proxy detect us here at this point just by his proximity, but luckily that quick reload came into play and we managed to throw our torpedoes, that extra set, straight at his face while he was busy shooting our division mate. As any battleship that has torpedoes do, they try and get them off before they go down. I did kind of predict this and decided time to move forward. That with the cruisers also moving up behind me, it's now time to forfeit A. I now see this Texas, who originally I thought was going to do the same thing as the geyser now. I just kind of throw the torpedoes down there. I don't really have anything else that needs my immediate attention, so you spray and you pray, right? So unfortunately, the gallant that had been ignoring me, who is now capping A, detects me and shoots me. Luckily, I did manage to get away, and I go back to attacking this Texas. This is all, you know, pretty standard Kamikaze stuff. You keep outside of your 5.4 detection range, but you keep inside of your 6K torpedo range. You launch him, you aim him, not in that order, and you have a bit of fun. It's pretty textbook Kamikaze play. At this point, I look at the scoreboard, and I'm like, okay, it's 2 ships down each side. They pretty much got all of A. They pretty much made a chokehold on C. We're going to end up getting pincered between. We have 2 ships north of C that kind of aren't really doing a whole lot. Not really sure what the team that was at A with me is doing, but we're going to kind of, at least we've gotten B. We're going to at least not bleed too many points while our ships get back into the right positions. Though you just love hearing that in a game, I personally... Ugh. So the good news is my torpedoes connect there with that Texas, which is excellent, but I don't think the 5 that I managed to connect is going to be enough. I get ready to loop back round to torpedo, but someone else got there before me. Anyway, at this point, we're having a look. We still have the Cleveland and the, I think it's a battleship in A with the majority of the team. We really need that second cap. There's no real point me fighting towards C at the moment by myself. I don't have the hit pool. There's just too many ships over there at the moment. So our best bet is going to be recapturing A. Now, my first thought for this was to drive straight into A and contest straight on with the Gallant. Decided that wasn't the best idea and instead decided to go through this gap in the island with the rest of my fleet to try and get some sneaky torpedoes in. Meanwhile, of course, the enemy has moved back into B. There's 2 Jaiweis now contesting B. As you can see here, I kind of hold off on torpedoing. The Cleveland was only at about, 1.5k health, and I had several battleships shooting at him. I really couldn't pull the trigger on the torpedoes. It just seemed like such a waste. Now remember those 2 Jaiweis that I mentioned before? Now those 2 guys are now in my way. So we don't have A, or rather we're recapping A. They are best point out of 400 points ahead of us. So I need to get in this cap and I need to try and delay them as long as possible for my teammates to come in and assist me. Now anyone who's played a Kamikaze or most Japanese destroyers will know Japanese destroyers are by no means gunboats. Not really sure how we managed to pull it off on the first one, but let's just say we were very, very lucky he only had about 3k health. The second one, however, I have no idea how much health he has. Or furthermore, besides on the other side of this cap, I don't really know where he is. I do see that second smoke cloud in front of me and I was like, well, we might as well go and try and torp it. We'll see what comes out of that. My team still hasn't come to assist me. We need a second cap, otherwise we're just going to lose due to loss of ships. So it's time to make the magic happen. Honestly, it almost feels like he is as surprised to see me as what I am to see him. Please don't ask me what I was thinking with these torpedoes. I really wasn't. I just kind of chucked them as like a deterrent. I mean, kind of worked. Anyway, the knife fight begins. We're chucking shots at each other. I'm obviously not doing as well as what he is. Being Japanese, my guns just don't have the power. I won't lie, guys. Right here, I was like, oh, dang it. But then I realized those bad boys are deep sea water torpedoes, and my deterrent tactic is what he just did at me, trying to wig me out, and my gosh, it worked. So at this point, I kind of realized the error of my ways and that going head to head with a knife fight probably isn't going to work. So I go for runaway tactic. I pop my smoke and use that as a cover as I try and get away. Still, looking back behind me, trying to find where my team is. At long last, I see some allied shots coming in. I'm now undetected with the smoke trailing behind me, but I only have 900 health left. If I play this poorly, that's going to be the end of my life and probably the loss of the game, with the enemy team now only needing an additional 250-ish points to win. Under the cover of my smoke screen, I decide it's probably a good time for me to hightail out of that. I do finally have 2 allied ships coming in, the Fubuki and the Emil, coming to assist me. Thank gosh, it only took you best part of 3 minutes to get here. Looking back on this video now, I don't really understand why I shot here. I think part of it was that first engagement with this destroyer. He played very, very passively. He wasn't actively shooting me for a while. I figured I could get a few more pop shots on him, help out my team getting rid of him, but in reality, looking back on it now, probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. In my mind here, I'm thinking, good, I've done a lot of the work, I've taken him down to within 2k left of health. It's your turn to finish him off, you two. It's my turn to skedaddle out. I might go and try and backcap C and just take it easy, This isn't my fight anymore. I do decide to drop my torpedoes, just in case he turned back. So we just saw him pop his smoke on the other side of the island right in front of me. I figure, it's probably better to now stay left of that island. I don't need to come face to face with him again. I just don't have the health. So I keep the island to the right of me and I stay safe, keeping away from where his guns would be. And he manages to eat a torpedo. I mean, Okay. So now we have A cap. We are regaining B cap. There's nothing in C cap, so I'm like, you know what? I've got no health left. As long as I stay away from their enemy cruiser that's moving in, I should be very easy able to mosey over on there and take that cap. So that's what I decided to do. But, of course, I'm not going to head over there without throwing torpedoes at their cruiser on the way. This little smoke cloud left behind by the destroyer I just killed also gave me an opportunity to lob a few more pot shots, just because I really couldn't resist. Although my torpedoes didn't hit in this instance, it did actually turn that cruiser around, forcing him to double back essentially, and it just gave the ships that were capping B a little bit more time to get it capped without being reset. I don't really do a whole lot at this point. I'm just trying to get over to C, using the islands as cover. I throw a few pot shots over at the Fubuki, I throw a few more torpedoes, but nothing really grand. At this point, with the second cap and us now having a one ship advantage, the pressure is kind of off me to do any big plays. The fact that I'm going to be able to also take C and stop their point gain is really enough work for me to do at this stage. Staying alive is my #1 job. So originally I was going to go through the channel here to get into C and cap it. However, since I forced that cruiser back around and he did in fact beach, he was a little bit too close for comfort. What I decided to do is go the long way around, unfortunately. No one likes going the long way, but in this situation it probably did keep me alive, so it was the better play to do. Again, I throw a few more torpedoes. At this stage, not really looking for damage, it's just about, like I said, staying alive and getting the cap. So off I go into C cap. At this point, once we get C cap, yes, they are taking back B. We will still be gaining point advantage by holding the second cap once I finish off. At this point, the team is just mopping up the enemy, essentially. We're just kind of cruising around. However, things get, unfortunately, a little too close at the end. As you can see, I start moving out of C. I'm done here. All I'm really going to do is act as a spotter for my allies, just in case, that destroyer moves in a position we're not expecting him. For example, he starts coming to chase me, which is a little confusing, but I was like, okay, we just need to keep out of range of him. Things actually got really close towards the end here. While we have both caps, as you can see, the timer is almost out. I am sitting here thinking, I went against 2 destroyers, I bypassed a cruiser, I smashed a German battleship in the face, and we're gonna lose 2 points. All because our Colorado won't shoot the Emil Breton that is probably within 3 or 4 Ks of him if you look on the mini-map. At this point, if you were me, you're sitting there with your hand in your head, or rather your head in your hand, thinking, well, there goes what could have been a really good game. But just watch and see what happens. That's right. The Emil Breton actually managed to torp its own teammate, thus shifting the points in our favor and winning us the game right within the last, 20 seconds of the game. How's that for luck?